Mark, defeated here late on. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, first half I was reasonably happy. I thought we had a lot of control of the game without really creating the chances that we need to create when we've got that much dominance in the game. Second half, really disappointed with what we produced. Give credit to Barrow, obviously had a lot of energy up top and chased the lost causes. Didn't really deal with the longer ball, and anything that dropped down they were first to get onto it, and that was causing us a problem. So that was prevalent right through the second half. So we've got to be better in that regard. But even if you're not having the best of days, and we weren't in the second half, you've still got to be resilient, and we made a couple of changes, and obviously that had an effect for us. But getting back to 2-2 at that point, you don't lose the game. Absolutely do not lose the game, and that's the frustration. It's we've got to learn that trait of, even if we're not at our best, which we certainly weren't, certainly second half, we still got to find a way, and today we couldn't find that way.
Is it composure in the final minute when you get your equaliser and then go down the other end and concede straight away? Is it a lack of discipline in that sense? Possibly.
A little bit of tiredness. People go a little bit dead in the head and don't really concentrate. That's always affected when you've got emotion at the end of the game. So that might have had an effect for us, but it shouldn't be an excuse. There's a lot of guys here that have played a lot of games and faced situations like that and dealt with them. And unfortunately, we didn't today, which is a real shame. I felt, as I said, that first half we were okay up to a point, but second half nowhere near where we need to be.
There's obviously a huge contrast between the two halves in terms of how open the second half was in comparison to the first. You put that obviously down to our lack of control in the second. Put that down to anything in particular, why there was such a contrast? No, we didn't deal with obviously the longer ball from back to front. It was always going to be a game of balls being contested on our back line, and if we can't win the first one, we have to win the second one. And for a lot of the second half, we didn't win it either. So it's about making sure that we learn from this. It's something and a style of play that we're going to be faced week in, week out. So the sooner we get better at dealing with it, the better. To be able to get goals, I guess, and get off the mark in a goal-scoring sense in the second half, where perhaps we didn't have that control that you were looking for, I guess, a positive to take out of the game. Yeah,
I mean, and Cookie and Jake Young, I thought, did really well when they came on, affected the game, which is what we needed. That's why I put them on. Jake obviously was a real threat when he got on the ball. Great goal, great strike. He's got that. We see that every day in training, so it's good that he's been able to produce that. But we just got ourselves in a situation where we needed just to have that composure at the right time. Getting back to 2-2, that should have been the game over.
You stood on the pitch at the end of the game and pointed to those away supporters, over 600 of them in the away, and I guess the real disappointment today is not being able to send them home with anything.
Yeah, I mean, we got to a point where we've got back and we've got a result, 2-2 away from home against a team who had a good result last time out, and we're making it difficult for us. So at that point, that should be the game over. We should just see, what was it, 2-3 minutes left. We should have enough about us, enough professionalism just to see the game out. And that's a harsh lesson, one that we need to learn very quickly. I'd be very surprised if we see that again in similar circumstances. It's about making sure we get better every game. So we've got to be able to deal with situations like that better.